Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Singh Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
Why all the hate? Is American society going through a temper tantrum, or is it something more? And putting pen to paper, how to become a better writer to tell a story that's inside you in the cities. Writers don't need to go it alone, and we're lucky to have the Midwest Writing Center to move our stories forward. More on a conference that could inspire you. That's coming up in a moment. But first, when opposition becomes hate. Even before we had a contentious election, you could already see fractured lines in society, sometimes two sides refusing to listen to each other. But is it more than just a clash of ideas? A new group fears that may be so. And joining us is Temple Emmanuel Rabbi Henry Karp and Metropolitan Community Church Pastor Richard Hendricks. Both men are organizers of a new group called One Human Family QCA. Rabbi Karp, why is this group needed?
This group is needed because I think we say it all in our mission statement, which, you know, on the surface sounds like a pretty bland mission statement. You know, it's to welcome and protect the human rights, dignity, and life of all people in all places in the Quad Cities. It's needed because those simple expectations are in great danger of not being met, as we see increased bullying in the schools, as we see arrests of undocumented immigrants, as we see an increase in Islamophobia and homophobia and racism and anti-Semitism. That seems to be growing as part of our society. And our goal is to try and protect the Quad Cities from falling into those dark holes that are really grabbing so much of the rest of the country.
Well, and Pastor Hendricks, one would say maybe this is a problem elsewhere, this is a problem in other parts of the country, not here in the Quad Cities.
It's definitely a problem here in the Quad Cities.
Yes.
We've had a number of incidents reported to us, and you know, not that many people even really know about our organization, but you know, you have incidents of you know, a high school student being told he's a terrorist. We have incidents of gay slurs taking place all the time, and you know, I laugh at it's not laughable, but it is the woman who was putting on a headscarf at the Costco line, you know, where you go to get your receipt to check out there, and the guy behind her says, "Why don't you wear a hat like regular Americans?" Assuming, I guess, that she was Muslim, which she wouldn't have been putting on a headscarf in public if she were Muslim, but at any rate.
Is it just is it ignorance and a misunderstanding of other cultures, or is it more of a, I wonder if it's just not a pendulum swing, where people are saying, okay, now wait a second, we've given these people too many rights and they've forgotten about my rights, and the pendulum swings the other way? Well,
there's fear. The fear is that we've given them too many rights and they've forgotten about my rights. But that's a false fear. You know, there's no such thing as too many rights. It's equal rights for everyone. And the thing about fear is, you know, hate doesn't drive out hate. Only love can do that. So you've got to have the other side of the. You've got to have people come to the understanding that we are one human family. You know, it's like the fingers on your hand. You know, we have 5 fingers. Each one's different, but they're all part of the hand.
Well, Rabbi Karp, what was the spark? What created this? Was there one single thing?
Well, it was an evolving situation, especially with the threats during the campaign about building the wall, and also of blocking Muslim immigration and registering Muslims. There were, these things were clouds, ominous clouds on the horizon, and with the candidates saying, we're going to do these things. We're going to change the very nature of America in terms of its sense of inclusivity and welcome. And
so do you blame the candidates for this, or is this like almost pulling a Band-Aid off of a scab? Is that it was already there, it's just now?
Well, yeah, it was already there. I mean, there's no question but that it was already there. But in our society, hate was driven underground. That it was socially unacceptable to speak out in hate, to act out in hate, because it was recognized by the society that these things were inappropriate. But as the campaign continued, there was a growing sense of license to hate. And there were increasing incidents of, that demonstrated the license to hate. I remember seeing one film clip of a Muslim woman sitting and working on a computer in front of a Starbucks, I think in Washington, D.C. area, and another woman coming over to her and pouring a cup of coffee over her head. And there was this growing sense that it's okay. This is, that America really doesn't want these strangers, which is a cancer.
But is this, Pastor Hendricks, is this acts of individuals? I mean, you take a look also in Portland, Oregon, where you had one person on a train who verbally attacked and in many ways threatened 2 women. And 3 men came to their defense. Sadly, 2 of them died, one of them stabbed and survived. But it's an individual. Do you see it more as a problem with society or a problem with certain individuals in society?
I think it is a societal problem. I think what Henry said is true, that there is this us versus them, this notion that somehow we're divided. And for some people that, white males especially have this certain privilege that they're entitled to, and they're entitled to rule the country, and they have been given license basically to commit acts of violence in their minds. And so we have to get over this us versus them. We have to realize that we are all part of one human family.
And that's the name of the group, is One Human Family. So what do you hope to do? I mean, we know what the problem is. Knowing the solution might be a little more difficult to find.
So we have several forums to deal with the problem. One of them is the Education Forum, and dealing with the problem with bullying in the public schools. One of them is community awareness. We've launched a yard sign campaign that says no matter who you are or where you're from, you're welcome in our community, and we hope to see these yard signs popping up more and more. The sign is printed in Arabic and in English and in Spanish. And so that's a definite sign for people that this is the community, this is who we are as a community. We are an inclusive, diverse, vibrant community. We also want to make sure that these incidents of hate don't go unnoticed. A lot of times, if it doesn't rise to the level of a crime where you get the police involved, sometimes people think, well, you just have to let it pass. Well, no, you don't have to let it pass, and it should be reported. And we, in turn, take those reports and report them to the Southern Poverty Law Center so that they have a better idea of the level of hate that's taking place.
So not only is it a way to shed light, Rabbi, on intolerance, but it's also what? A way to also get inclusivity with people and to let people know that, like you said, one human family?
Well, yes, and it, as Reverend Hendricks said, it is societal, because there's 2 sides to this. Of course, there's the perpetrator who does these terrible things and the victim, but the other side is, how does society respond? How do individuals in society respond? In Holocaust studies, we talk about the bystanders. These are the people who, during the Holocaust, stood by and watched their neighbors and their friends be arrested and sent to concentration camps and killed, and said and did nothing. The way to stop it is for people to start speaking out, for people to say, I have a vested interest in making sure that my community remains an inclusive and welcoming community for all people. And when I see someone or hear someone do something hateful or say something hateful, I'm going to confront that person. I'm going to say no, like those 3 men did in Portland, Oregon.
Heroes.
They are truly heroes of inclusivity. They're heroes of diversity. They're heroes of human dignity. And 2 of them, unfortunately, are martyrs in that cause. And it takes courage to do that. One of the things that we sponsor, for example, is Ouch training. It's a program put together by Iowa State University. And it's training people how to respond when they experience or witness inappropriate hate behavior. And to get people to say, no, I'm not going to stand by and sit on the sidelines here. That we want our community to be a welcoming community, and it starts with me. Many years ago, we had neo-Nazis in this community, and they threatened to bomb a premiere showing of Schindler's List. They burned a cross in West Davenport, and they made their presence more and more known. And a group of community faith leaders got together and put together a rally called the Say No to Hate Rally. And it was held at Sacred Heart Cathedral in Davenport, which is a very large cathedral. And on that night, the sanctuary was packed, and the lobby was packed, and the stairs leading up to the building were packed, as people from across the Quad Cities stood up and said no to hate. That, we are not going to just passively accept this type of behavior in our community. This is not what the Quad Cities is about. Just last year, we had 1,600 people gathered at the Waterfront River Center packing food packs for Syrians, refugees in the refugee camps. This is, we have the core of, we have a core of very good people in the Quad Cities, and our goal is to engage them all in this campaign to say we are welcoming, not a hating community.
So, Rich, how do you get involved? How does somebody that wants to get involved in One Human Family QCA get involved?
There's a number of different ways. One is be sure and go to our Facebook page and like us on Facebook. And there's information posted there about our monthly meetings. We meet on the third Tuesday of the month, either at noon or at 4 o'clock at Temple Emmanuel. But each of those task forces also have their own meeting times and places, and so people can get involved in one of the task forces.
Well, and I hate to say this in front of you two guys, but oftentimes you're preaching to the choir, to lack of a better phrase of doing it. So you wouldn't mind somebody bringing a friend. I mean,
exactly.
The key is the inclusivity, and then the key is to not just talk to like-minded people.
I agree, and that's the difficulty, is getting the message out to a broader audience. That's one of the things we hope that the yard sign campaign will do. It's one of the things I hope that this interview might do, is make people more aware that this is a resource out there, and that everybody needs to get involved to take a stand.
And I just have a brief moment, I apologize,
okay, sure,
but I got to
ahead.
point out that you've announced that you're retiring Rabbi Karb.
This is true.
And going to be a Rabbi Emeritus. Does this mean that you're going to be leaving this type of community activity? What do you plan to do?
Just the opposite. Just the opposite. One of my goals in retirement is, when I no longer carry the responsibilities of a congregational rabbi, is to invest more time in the work of One Human Family QCA. Ours is a growing organization. There are people who are very concerned about what's happening in our society, and they are stepping forward. And there's a lot of work we have to do, and unfortunately, that work grows almost every day. I mean, look what's being proposed about education. You know, I mean, that would, you know, if all those cuts were given to public education in order to promote private education, there's a whole strata of our society which would be denied these tools to advance because they would not be able to receive what's left of free public education.
Rabbi Karp, Pastor Hendricks, One Human Family QCA, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And once again, more information, of course, on the website. No matter how long you live in the cities, you're bound to find new and interesting events that may be of interest to you, your friends, and your family. Laura Adams has some ideas you might want to check out if you go out and about.
This is Out and About for June 5th through 11th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. Gumbo Yaya Mardi Gras in the District begins June 10th. The two-night festival brings the atmosphere of New Orleans to downtown Rock Island. Bishop Hill is holding an honor flight benefit at the Village Park June 11th from 3 to 6. The Prinzy Players are holding a fundraising brunch with a performance by Shakespeare at the establishment on June 11th. Grab your lawn chair for a variety of outdoor concerts. The Moline Center Summer Concert Series at Bass Street Landing every Thursday, the Starlight Review Concert Series at Lincoln Park, the Summer Concerts in the Park in Stevens Square, and the RME Anniversary Live at 5 at the River Music Experience on June 9th. On stage, The Little Mermaid Juries Under the Sea to Quad City Music Guild through the 17th. QC Theater Workshop presents the Tony-nominated musical Peter and the Starcatcher through June 18th. Snapshots, a musical comedy romance with songs by Stephen Schwartz, continues on the Circa 21 stage, while Richmond Hill Players presents the courtroom drama Inherit the Win at the Barn Theater in Geneseo. Mary Poppins flies into the Timberlake Playhouse at Mount Carroll, Illinois through the 11th, and the charming musical I Love You Because, based on Pride and Prejudice, continues through the 17th at the Black Box Theater in downtown Moline. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. It's a great time to catch live outdoor music. The Candy Makers are hitting Moline's Bass Street Landing stage next Thursday to help break in the summer concert season downtown. We caught up with vocalist Al Sweet when he was performing at the River Music Experience in Davenport. So here's Al on the community stage with Run Back.
I can't decide where I wanna go or who I wanna be. All I know is I wanna be next to you, make you feel like I feel it too. Just come running back to me. I can't decide where I wanna go or who I wanna be. All I know is I wanna sing for you as loud as I can for you. If you would come running back to me as fast as you can. Oh, and I'll be waiting for that feeling to come again. Oh, and I'll be waiting for that feeling to show me the way. Ooh, into your arms. I can't decide where you want me to go or who you want me to be. All I know is I'll be next to you. I'll cross the ocean for you. Just come running back to me as fast as you can, baby. Oh, and I'll be waiting for that feeling to come again. Oh, and I'll be waiting for that feeling to show me the way, yeah, back home, ooh, into your arms. It's where I wanna stay, yeah, it's where I wanna be, in your arms, in your arms, ooh, yeah. Where I wanna stay, it's where I wanna be, in your arms. It's where I wanna stay, it's where I wanna be, in your arms, in your arms, in your arms, ooh, in your arms. Just come back to me.
Al Sweet and Run Back. Catch Al and his group, the Candymakers, next Thursday for a free outdoor concert starting at 7 at the Bass Street Landing Stage. It's all too easy for writers to give up on the stories they want to tell. It doesn't have to be that way, especially with the Midwest Writing Center in the cities. And once again, the Writing Center is hosting a conference that could help you better express yourself. Joining us is Ryan Collins, the Executive Director of the Midwest Writing Center. How you doing?
Doing very well. Thanks for having me.
You know, once again, the Midwest Writers Conference is starting this year on Thursday, June 22nd at St. Ambrose.
That's correct.
It really is a chance to, you know what, not only inspire, but also kind of rub elbows with other writers so that you can almost network too, I would assume.
Definitely. I mean, that's part of the whole point of the conference, isn't just the educational aspect of the workshops, but hopefully to meet fellow writers, get to spend some time with some of the best writers, I think, in the country. And yeah, just kind of spend that time. We try to have it be a real community kind of atmosphere, very laid back, very welcoming, and I think we've been able to do that every year. So we're really excited for this year.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, you've seen the writers. You know every writer, I think, in the Quad Cities, but there are people that aren't coming out of their shell necessarily, or a little afraid. Like you said, this is a welcoming thing. It's not like a formal conference. You can feel very comfortable if you go here. Yeah,
that's what we're hoping for. I mean, depending on the workshop, some of the workshops are maybe geared more toward a little bit more advanced writers, like the novel workshop that's being taught by Kali Van Bali, who lives outside of Des Moines. It's more like a revision workshop, so if you've got a novel that you've been tinkering with, or if you've got a manuscript that's pretty close to publication ready, that's maybe the workshop for you. The memoir workshop that Kelly Daniels, who teaches at Augustana College, that he's teaching, the poetry workshop, the short prose workshop, those are maybe a little more generative, so those are kind of maybe open for beginners to people who've maybe done a little publishing to, I think, even advanced writers. I mean, I have a book and I take the poetry workshop every year. It's like my one chance to be a student, and I always learn something. It's always good for my craft, and I always feel kind of refreshed. And generative when I get done with it.
And there's absolutely no reason to go it alone. I mean, no. Being a writer doesn't have to be a lonely business.
No, I think that's one of the big misconceptions about writing in general. Most of the writers I know who are having success, who are publishing, they have a community, whether that community is dispersed kind of and keeps in contact mainly through the internet, or whether that's a local community. I know there are a lot of local writing groups. Some of them are very, kind of closed and private. There's a lot of writing groups around here. There's a lot of writers in the area. There's a long history of that. So hopefully this conference, like one of the ways it can serve the community is a chance for people who are maybe working alone, or maybe who feel that writing is this individual practice all the time. There's obviously a lot of individual practice to it, but it's not always like that. And I think you do need community in terms of getting feedback for your work, supporting each other, sharing successes, sharing failures, because there's a lot of rejection involved when you try to get into the publishing aspect of writing. So like having that community, I think is pretty essential. I know it's been very important for me as a writer, as well as working for the Writing Center.
And this year for the convention, for the conference, you've got a keynote speaker who kind of speaks to some of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Luis Alberto Urrea is a world-class storyteller. We couldn't be more excited to have him. So he's going to be doing a free keynote event at the Figge on Thursday, June 22nd. There's a private reception for conference participants, and then there's a public reception, and then the keynote address. But I mean, Luis has written poetry. He was a Pulitzer Prize finalist for nonfiction. He's written several novels, collections of short stories. So, I mean, he really writes everything. And if you ever get a chance to see him speak, he's got a lot of clips and interviews and things like that online.
But add to that, he's an educator too.
Right.
So, I mean, he
teaches,
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to see him speak before he comes here, it's beyond compelling. So yeah, we couldn't be more excited to have him here and add this feature to our conference.
I want you to have a chance to make your best pitch, because July is Young Emerging Writers Middle School Camp. I mean, that's so critically important too, because you always think of these kids that are getting out of school in the whole summer. It shouldn't be wasted. I mean, you've got so much potential for those 3 months. Sure. What a great opportunity to keep going at your writing.
Yeah, absolutely. We get a lot of calls about, I've got a son or daughter that's interested in writing. Is there anything for us to do? Well, in July, the last full week of July, I think the 24th through the 28th, we have a camp for approximately 11 to 14-year-olds. It's kind of flexible. But we do a lot of different writing activities. We have visiting writers from all over the community come in. They do a big community reading on Friday the 28th at the library, which anyone is welcome to come to. And this year they're going to be doing a little publication, so they'll have like a little chapbook of all the participants' best work that we'll kind of put together and make available to everybody.
Now, and I should point out your new location once again is in the Rock Island Library, downtown Rock Island. I mean, if anybody needs information, how has this new facility helped you? I mean, do you have more meeting space, or is it much more of a public area that people are kind of more accustomed to? I
mean, so far, not that much difference, just other than being in a different state. Right. But I mean, I think there's probably a little more foot traffic, just with it being the library and we're on the ground floor as opposed to being on the third floor. So we see a lot of people coming in and out. And I know, like, the Rock Island Public Library, like a lot of libraries, they have, youth reading programs and things like that. So we hope that some of the youth program that we offer is kind of a nice supplement to some of those other things, reading, writing.
Absolutely.
Because if you want to be a writer, the first thing that you need to be doing is reading. And if you're reading, you can be a writer.
Absolutely. So. Ryan Collins from the Midwest Writing Center, the director of the Midwest Writers Conference, Thursday, June 22nd at St. Ambrose University. You can register online. You can get all the information there at your website as well.
Absolutely.
All right. I appreciate you joining us. Thanks so
much.
And WQPT is doing its part to support the military men and women in the cities who are serving our nation. We call it Embracing the Military. And military dads can get a break while spending some quality time with their kids. Rock Island Family and MWR is sponsoring a Dad's Day with the kids at Valley Falls Adventure Golf in Coal Valley. From 5:30 to 7:30 next Thursday, you'll get a discount at the mini golf course for a night of fun, followed by pizza, and it's all free for military families. Make your reservation with the MWR office on Arsenal Island. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.